Aloha, my friends and familia. I'm so excited to be here today. I have some very exciting news as a lot of energies are shifting majorly. Aloha, everyone. So good to see you here. And I'm really excited about some really powerful shifts that are going on, predominantly between two major planets. So, the planet Venus is typically known as the divine feminine energy, and she has just changed signs. And Mars, which is typically known as the divine masculine energy, how we take action, our energy to do, our leadership energy, has also changed signs. And so I wanted to get on here today and bring you the juiciest updates happening up in the star constellations with two of our big key players: Venus, the planet of love, abundance, prosperity. We call her the billionaire planet. And Mars, the god of action, the energy of energy, the energy of energy, the energy of taking action. And so those two energies have majorly shifted. Venus was in a fire sign. She was this fiery goddess, and now she's moved into an earth sign, much more grounded, much more stable. And Venus really speaks to what we love. It also speaks to money. And so wherever Venus is located is going to share and shine the light, so to speak, on what people value, what people love in terms of the collective, and where they're most likely to spend their money. So if you are an entrepreneur, a business owner, an investor, someone who works with people, and you're curious to know what people's focus around what they love and where they're going to spend money is, you can look into astrology, especially this True the Star system. And if you're new to my channel, I am Lotus Dawn. This is Blossom with Lotus, and I bring you the most true to the actual star astrology information I can receive by going online to Stellarium, by using Prometheus to tune into what's actually happening in the sky. So I'm so glad you're here. Welcome, welcome, welcome to all the new subscribers, all of the new friends who are excited to learn about what energetics the planets are actually having, what effects are they making, rippling out into the world, and then how can we thus stay in our own center, stay in our own lane, and stay at cause, even in the midst of what those planets are doing. So I'm going to go ahead and share screen and show you the constellations that the constellation Venus is in, and the constellation that Mars, the planet of action, is in. So I hope you're all doing well out there. Happy Thursday. There is a pretty major aspect happening today that is fairly karmic in nature, could be fairly triggering, between the moon, which is emotion, Venus, the goddess of love, and something called the South Node or karmic point. We have these 2 points, they're called the nodes of the moon. One point represents the past, it represents karma, it represents where we've been, what we've been going through in past lives, who we were. And when it's happening in the collective, it can represent who we as a collective have been in the past. And since the moon and Venus are directly conjunct that point of the past life point in Virgo, this could be really affecting our emotions as the moon rules emotions. It also could be affecting women especially strongly because Venus is the goddess energy, and it can be affecting money, how we feel about money, and perhaps things from the past around money may be coming up for us. So I'm going to share a screen with you to show you what is actually happening in the sky. I love this app. It's called Stellarium. You can get it for free, and you can see what constellation the planets are in right now at any time. It's amazing. I love it. So just going to jump on here and take a quick look, plug into the sky. It's always so grounding, actually, to see what's happening in the stars, because then we know better where we are, right? For thousands of years, our ancestors have used the star maps to guide, right? They would get on their ships, they would travel, and they would use their star maps to discern where they were, right? So the stars are a really good way for us to know where we are and also where we are going or where we would like to go. So I absolutely love this work. It's very, very grounding. So what is happening in the sky today? Here is the sky. Okay, these are the constellations. We have Virgo here, Libra here, Scorpio here, Ophiuchus up here. I think Sagittarius must be around there. Gemini, excuse me, Cancer, right? Orion's belt. And so here is the sun. And so what constellation is the sun currently in? And I know mainstream astrology says it's in Virgo, but when we take a look at the actual sky, the sun and actually Mercury are still in Leo. And what's really interesting about Mercury right now, and Mercury is the planet of communication, it is the planet of expression. In Greek mythology, Mercury was known as Hermes and was the messenger god who actually had wings on his sandals and would deliver the messages for all of the gods. And right now, Mercury is directly conjunct Regulus, which is the heart of the lion. So, and it's in Leo, which is the sign of the leaders of the earth, the royalty, those who are of high stature, who have great authority, great power, the sign of kings and queens. And so there could be a lot of communication right now between a lot of sovereign kings and queens of this land, people communicating about what they're planning, the action they're planning to take, the steps into power they're planning to do, right? I see a lot of people out there launching projects, launching ideas, getting their work out there. Leo is the performer. Leo likes to share, Leo likes to express, and with the sun still in Leo, there's still this hot, fiery energy of passion. With Mercury conjunct the heart of the lion, there's this desire to express from our hearts, to share from our hearts, to share things that we are passionate about. And so I've been feeling this energy as well. And so I've decided that next week, September 10th, 11th, and 12th, yes, during a very potent time, I will be leading a 3-day journey to dive into how we can begin to decode our own star map. So if you've been loving the work that I do with astrology, with revealing people's destiny, their greatest abilities to create wealth, relationships, love, family, destiny, again, karma, challenges, and you'd like to know more, you'd like to see how you could begin to decode this information for yourself, it's actually not as hard as it looks. I will be leading a 3-day event, a 3-day journey into the stars. Very gentle, very easeful. We're going to just tune into our charts. We're going to learn a couple things that will allow us to begin to read our own charts. So if you're curious and you'd like to dive in with me further, send me a message, send me your birth date information so I can add you to my list. Let me know that you would like to come, and it's going to be powerful, right? So if there's something in your heart that you're wanting to share and get out there, this is a good time as Sun is still in Leo and we'll be approaching Virgo though. So we're about to shift. We're about to shift big time, right? From the Leo, right? The lions roar hot and fiery. We're still communicating from the heart like a Leo. We're still talking like a Leo. We're still shining like a Leo for the next week and a half. And then things change because Leo will go into the constellation of Virgo. And Virgo is the only constellational sign that is actually portrayed as a human, except for Ophiuchus, the 13th sign. So those are the two people of the zodiac. And Virgo is a very different energy from Leo. Virgo is all about stability, very consistent, very grounded. It's an earth sign. It's a very feminine energy, where Leo has been really masculine, very sort of more loud, sort of more in your face, more energy, more fire. And so when the sun goes into Virgo on September 14th, expect the energies to settle down a bit, get a little bit more calm. You may be able to study and focus a little bit more deeply. And today, we have this powerful lineup of the moon, Venus, and the south node. And so I wanted to go into a bit more about the qualities of Virgo to give you a better sense of what Virgo energy is all about. Virgo is a divine feminine energy. It's quintessentially feminine. As you can see, the symbol is actually a woman. She's typically depicted holding like a cornucopia or a baby. You can call it very symbolic, very similar to, excuse me, the energy of the Virgin Mother, like Mother Mary energy. In fact, Virgo also means virgin or pure. Okay, so it's all about purity. It's all about expressing our divinity through our bodies in a pure way with diet, health, exercise, being very clear and pure with our intentions, living a pure life. Okay, so I wanted to show you this lineup, and then we're going to dive into the energetics of Virgo. It's beautiful energy. It's the biggest constellation. It is literally 49 days long. So when the sun goes into Virgo on September 13th, we are going to be in Virgo season for quite a time. Okay, so we're going to be having huge shifts right now as Venus is moved into Virgo. She's sort of the forerunner showing us the energy of what the sun will feel like when she moves into Virgo. And I just think it's so interesting that so many people on the earth think that the sun is in the constellation of Virgo. She's not. The sun's not there yet. But Venus, the goddess of love, is there, and the goddess of wealth. And so there is a rather large shift that has occurred energetically with the planets because Virgo is very different energy from Leo. Leo loves to shine, loves to be the center of attention. Leo is all about performance. It's a fire sign. It's about bravery and courage. It's very yang, very masculine. While Virgo is very feminine, it's very much about purity. It's very much about healing and about being of service. Virgo sits behind the throne. She is the guide for the king and the queen. She helps to be the midwife, the doctor, the woman who harvests all the crops and brings in all of the bounty. I like to call Virgo the handmaiden to the earth. Virgo is the energy of the channel between source and the earth, where she goes and she takes the food and the plants and the crystals and all of the goods that the earth produces for the people, and she's a custodian, and she sorts, sifts, and separates all of the things that come in from the earth and organizes it and gives it to the right people. And so Virgo is really that energy of giving, of sharing the wealth of this earth, of sharing the bounty of Gaia. And so it's a very beautiful energy, Venus being the goddess of wealth and abundance, for her to be in Virgo right now. And at the same time, Mars, the divine masculine, has gone into Gemini. And Gemini is known as the sign of the twins. Thus, we have two here. And I chose two males. There's often either two women as the symbol for Gemini or two males. But I chose two males because it is Mars, which has gone into Gemini. And Mars is the planet of the divine masculine energy. It's all about outer world action and service. It's very masculine. It's very external. Okay, it loves to take action. So what that can mean in Gemini is that Gemini is the master marketer. It's the master communicator. It loves to write books, loves to share information. It's rather shallow and superficial, but very broad. Okay, so Gemini knows everything about everyone, maybe knows everyone, but not very deeply. Okay, Virgo is definitely a bit more deep on the deeper side, whereas Gemini just is like a social butterfly, coasting through life, talking to everyone, sharing information about everything, but maybe not necessarily going very deep on any one thing. Okay, so those are some of the basics. And then I want to show you the chart. So today, wow, we have this incredible lineup. We have the sun moon midpoint, which is the point between the sun and the moon. We have the midheaven, which is the high point of the day. It kind of represents the star of the Christmas tree. So if there was one big main focus of the day for the collective, it would be midheaven in Virgo, 10 degrees. And so that means there's a huge focus around health, around healing, around organization, around structuring, around details, around analysis, around getting things in order. You know, Virgo comes September 13th at the time of the harvest when everything is ripening on the vines and the trees, the apples and the pears and the grapes are all beginning to ripen. And so it's a time of the harvest. It's a time where we're gathering our crops and we're noticing and we're paying attention and we're analyzing what have we done, right? What fruits have we created? What wealth have we received? And thus, what are we going to do now? So there's this big energy of everyone kind of percolating here and receiving and evaluating and tuning in to what we've accomplished and then sort of tuning into what it is we want to do next. Okay, so there's a lot of kind of energy of building occurring here, building and receiving. And so today we have this kind of spectacular lineup of what is called the past life point, which is all about our karma. It's all about our past. And so having that conjunct Venus, which is the goddess of wealth, it's the billionaire planet, plus Juno, which is the marriage asteroid, which also relates to the wife and the mother, and then the moon, which is typically related to the mom. Today is a really big energy for the feminine energy on the planet. Whether you're in a male body or female body, this is major feminine energy. Venus, feminine. Juno, the wife. Moon, emotion. Okay. And it's in Virgo, which, as I said earlier, is a sign of health. It's a sign of healing with the karmic. So let's dive into this Virgo energy a little bit more and then come back to what it may mean to have Virgo, have so much Virgo today with the moon in Virgo, with Venus in Virgo, with Juno in Virgo, especially for the divine feminine. Okay. So I think the way to start this off is by sharing, as I did earlier, that Virgo is the largest constellation. It takes the sun 49 days to move through her, and she does look to a large degree like a pregnant woman. Most people say that Virgo is the energy that relates to the midwife, to pregnancy, to mothers, and to babies, and to delivery. And so there's this very strong feminine energy accentuated today. In Virgo, especially with the South Node in Virgo, what might that mean? Well, some other areas that Virgo relates to is health. Okay, so like I said earlier, Virgo is like the handmaiden to the earth. And so Virgo people tend to be really interested in the fruits of the earth, like the berries and the vegetables and food and diet and nutrition and gathering the crops, right? So people who have a lot of Virgo tend to love going to farmers markets. They love to go getting the bounty from health food stores. They love to cook healthy food. They love to nourish people. They love to heal with food. Okay, and so having the moon, Venus, and the South Node in Virgo means that today, especially the divine feminine energy on the planet, may be feeling very much a bit like a homebody, like wanting to stay home, wanting to cook, wanting to clean, wanting to organize, wanting to kind of nest, because Virgos really need a clean home environment. Excuse me. They really need healing energy around them. And so I get the sense with the South Node there that our emotions might be very sensitive today, and we're really craving this sort of healing energy. Virgo is a very high vibration, and it often relates to the vibration of nurturing and nourishment as well. And nurturing and nourishment through health, through healing, through diet, nutrition, and through exercise. And so you might be giving your attention more to things like, okay, what do I do for my exercise routine? Maybe I want to get back into yoga or Pilates or Qigong, because we're sort of getting more in touch with our bodies as we have more and more planets moving into Virgo. Okay. And so having all of this focus on health, healing, the divine feminine, the goddess, the mother, the wife, and it's with the south node point. What does that mean? The south node is related to our past lives. So when we have the south node, which is past life, connected to the energy of the woman, the home, the mother, the wife, it can mean that as a collective, especially the divine feminine energy, whether you're in a male or female body, could be having past life memories related to being a wife, being a mother, being a healer, being a physician, being a doctor, being a nurse, being a yoga teacher or physical guide of some type. Maybe you were like some type of healer that worked with the body. Maybe you were a nutritionist, maybe you were an herbalist or a midwife. Okay, and so with the past life point here, it could mean that past life trauma related to times when you were a healer on this earth could be coming up. And so I'm just gonna go ahead and say it, but how many wives and mothers and healers were persecuted for their healing ability? And if you're a healer, if you work with women, if you work with the body, if you assist people to heal, how much pain in your past life field do you have around times that you were unable to help the person as much as you wanted to? Or perhaps times where things didn't go as well as you wanted it to? This could also relate to past life issues with your health. And so if you have a health issue in this life, in your body or your physicality, there may be a chance that it might be flaring up at this point. Okay. Virgo rules the stomach and the intestines. And so this could mean that, things related to your gut might be flaring up at this time. The moon relates to the breasts, Venus relates to the reproductive organs, and so feminine issues could be coming up to the surface right now, and you could be being given opportunities to heal these issues on a much deeper level, which is very exciting, right? So at the same time as the South Node past life point can mean that issues from the past around health, around healing, around service to others, and this is another point. So Virgo is the great servant. It's the great server. It's the great giving to others and helping others. It's the sign of, the energy of Francis of Assisi, who just gave everything for everyone else. And the Bible does say that the secret to life is giving. Now, with Virgo, South Node, past life, it means as a collective, because this is the South Node point, it's the karmic past life point, we may have given too much in past lives. Can anyone relate to that? Yeah, and so having the past life point up right now could mean that we're having memories, awarenesses, things come up for us around past lives where maybe we've given too much, either as a doctor, as a nurse, as a healer, as a mother, as a wife. Okay, and so issues around service, around sharing, around giving could be really highlighted right now, around work. So some key areas that Virgo connects to is work, service, health, healing, routine, diet, exercise, the home, right? The cleanliness of the home, cleaning, organization, all those kinds of things. And so much energy now moving into Virgo, which had been in Leo, which is the child that loves to play and express itself. And we still have quite a bit here. We're moving into a bit of a more serious energy where we're wanting to create a structure. We're wanting to create cleanliness and organization. We're wanting to really kind of have more fun with our health and our healing and with feeling clean and clear. Okay. So if the past life point is in Virgo for the collective, this means that we are actually moving away from too much of a focus on perfection, cleanliness, purity, So the issue with Virgo, right? It loves cleanliness and purity and perfection. It's very into that just high angelic vibe of clarity and purity and perfection. There's an issue is that we could get hung up on being perfect, or we could get hung up on being clear and pure and just wanting this purity so much that we forget how to allow. And so that brings us directly down here to the North Node, or the destiny point of the collective. And so the destiny point of the collective is in an exactly opposite sign to Virgo. And it's been here all year. And it's a really big theme that I'm going to certainly cover in next week's 3-day journey, because this is huge. Our collective focus is not on all this Virgo energy. That's our past life focus this year. Right now, today, it's being highly activated. Okay. But what the focus is for humanity as a collective, the lesson, this is what the North Node, this cosmic destiny point here, and this is the past life point here. So this is our destiny point of what we're moving towards and what we want to create in the future, what we're learning. So past life was working hard, giving all that we had, being a healer, being a wife, being a mother. That's the work. But what we're growing into and what we're growing towards and what we're wanting more of, what we're hungry for, is North Node destiny point in Pisces, which is moving away from the earth-based, work hard, get very structured with your routine, all of this structure and discipline and focus on the material form. And it's towards Pisces, which is water, which is emotion, which is intuition, which is really tuning into what we feel and giving ourselves ample time and space to recharge, to regenerate, to go on spiritual retreat, to meditate. And I just want you to think about how this is a huge theme in the collective, where people have been for so long as a whole, working so hard that they barely have time to sit down and think straight. And what has that done to humanity? What state are people in without having the space and the time to rest and refuel and to allow themselves to be nourished on a soul level? That is where Piscean energy, that is the destiny for humanity point, which is refueling and nourishment and recharging. It's getting out into the waters. It's creating space in your life. And so having so many planets with the past life point could mean a lot of karma is coming up right now. It could mean a lot of past relationships or past ways of acting, ways that you've lived your life, especially with ways of working too much, giving too much, sort of being in go, go, go mode. It's coming up, and you may find yourself more drawn to doing it than ever at this point in time. But this destiny point down here with Neptune, the god of imagination and dreams, is saying, hey, I know you're distracted by these habit patterns to overwork and overgive and to never get enough rest. And I know that, especially for women and for mothers, the drive to serve and be of service and help others is so strong that it's hard to imagine having the space and the ample time to rest and rejuvenate. And yet that is what the destiny point is requesting and asking of us to go forwards to do this. And interestingly, the planet Saturn, which relates to structure and discipline, will be moving into Pisces next year. And the destiny point and Saturn will meet. And what that tells me is that if we don't take the time to slow down and fill up our cup and rest and really make it a priority this year to get rejuvenated, that Saturn can be discipline. So we will be disciplined to get that rest and to take that time and to rejuvenate. And that is a big focus for humanity, is learning how to create the structure of our spiritual connection to God, to ourselves, really, to our own energy, to our ability to be, right? Becoming human beings versus human doings. That's all this Virgo. It's doing, 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 doing. It's doing in service of the earth. It's doing in service to heal. It's doing in service to help others. And that's beautiful and it's divine. However, if you give to the point where you're gone and you have no more energy to share, then are you really being of service to humanity? And I think that's what this destiny point in Pisces with Neptune, the god of imagination and dreams, is really pointing to and really inviting us to tune into this. Not only that, but Chiron, the wounded healer, which is retrograde right now, is also in Pisces, which Chiron, the wounded healer, is like the biggest wound, right? So where can we allow more space is the question. How can we be of service? How can we organize our health, our routine, get our daily exercise, get in the right foods, nurture our bodies, nourish our souls with the delicious things of the earth, our clothing, our food, all the basics, our hygiene, flowers, gemstones. How can we nurture ourselves on an earthly way and a material way, care for others in this way, and also maintain an awareness and a focus on our emotional, spiritual connection to God? And that's really the dynamic tension that's at play today, where you might be feeling very active, very busy. You could have a lot of past life memories around work, places you've worked, things that you've done. You could have past life memories around giving birth, delivery, being a mom, having children, home, family, nourishment. And you could feel the past life memories of times you've depleted yourself around overworking or giving too much. And God and the angels, as well as the planets, are saying, notice, be aware, and then ask yourself, how can I make more space in my life? I'm running out of battery here. To give back to myself. How can I make more room and space in my life to ensure that I keep giving back to myself to the same extent that I support, serve, give to others? So I hope this message assists you and helps you to illuminate anything that's being brought to the surface. If you're curious about learning more about the work that I do and would like to join the 3-day journey, send me a direct message. It begins on September 10th. It will be at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm very excited to get to know you all better. If you'd like to come, please send me your birth date, time, and location. I am Lotus Dawn, and I just send you so much love. We're all in this together. Let us all focus on creating more space and more ease in our world. We imagine it, we dream it, we can be it. Biggest love, and look forward to seeing you all soon.